Well, hello, Flint. One thing I do know is governors, and you've got a hell of a governor in Michigan. Can I say that? To Senator Peters and Stabenow, thank you on behalf of the whole country for the work that you do. Michigan, you know the assignment. There's several things going on here. Alyssa Slotkin needs to go to Washington. Make sure that happens. And I've had the privilege of serving with someone I consider a dear friend, an incredible member of Congress, Dan Kildee. Thank you, my friend. Hard to replace him, but I think you found somebody to do it. Kristen McDonald-Rivert, make sure she gets there. Make sure they get him there. Mayor Neely, thank you for having me in this incredible community. And Pastor Overson, the words that he spoke, that we know what we have to do. We got 4 days to get that work done, people. Let's get her done. Now, to all of you, thank you. Thank you for coming out. Look, anywhere else I would thank you for coming out in the cold, but for God's sakes, we're Midwesterners. It snowed in Minneapolis yesterday, so we're ready to go. But you came out for a simple reason. You love this country and you know there's work to be done, so thank you for that. Well, 4 days. We're down to about 100 hours on this thing. This next 100 or so hours in the work we do will shape not just the next 4 years, but the next generation. Hard to believe, but there's still a few folks out there with their minds aren't quite made up. Now, you've heard this from folks. I know you have. Well, I really don't like Donald Trump personally, the things he does. And then you're like, oh, really? You know, we've seen that. But then they follow up, but things were good when he was president. The economy was good. Little fuzzy in how they remember things. So let's just level set here before we understand what's at stake. During Donald Trump's presidency, this country lost 2.7 million jobs, 280,000 in Michigan alone. Unemployment was up, and Donald Trump so botched the pandemic response that we were in Hunger Games with our neighbors to find toilet paper. That was Donald Trump's lack of leadership. But look, if you were a billionaire 4 years ago, like Elon Musk, you did pretty well because you got the Trump tax cut that went right to you. All the rest of us, we got squat out of the deal. Now, you remember a couple months back, they got caught on tape, Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They were laughing how fun it would be if workers went on strike just to fire them. That's how they think about it. But now it gets worse, and you need to know what's at stake. I think this group knows. I know this is preaching to the choir, but our recital's 4 days away, people, 4 days away. So now he wants to put Musk in charge of being the economy czar for all of us. Now, Elon says the only way to make this economy work is to crash it, to take it down. And he warned you, though, Americans, this was Elon in his own words, Americans are going to have to be prepared for some hardship. So I would ask all of you, what in the hell does a billionaire know about hardship? These damn people. And then he's talking about $2 trillion of cuts, because that's how we have to make the budget balance, even though Donald Trump called himself the king of debt and drove up the national debt higher than any other president ever has. But Elon says we have to cut $2 trillion. Now, he may be bad at math. We know Donald's bad at math. But to let you know what $2 trillion is, all of the discretionary spending that our government makes in a year is $1.6 trillion. So you're starting to get the math. To get to $2 trillion cuts, you got to go after two things. You got to cut Social Security and you got to cut Medicare. Just so we heard them, J.D. Vance said, we're going to have to cut Social Security. And Speaker Johnson this week said, when Donald Trump wins and they're in charge, there will be no more Obamacare. Getting rid of the ACA means getting rid of the protections for pre-existing conditions, just to be clear. If you're a woman, you have asthma, you've been sick before you had anything, insurance companies make the decisions, not you. Now look, Donald Trump did say he had a plan. No, he didn't. He said he had a concept of a plan. Concept of a plan. And he and the Republicans tried over 60 times to get rid of the ACA. Had it not been the courage of John McCain, they would have succeeded. It's that simple. Might be why John McCain's son is endorsing Kamala Harris for president, too.